What is going on, guys? We are back for another Sunday scan. Hopefully, you guys all had a fantastic weekend. Feels like the first normal 2-day weekend we've had in a long time, but I hope you guys all enjoyed it nonetheless. First off, I want to go ahead and welcome anybody that's new. I know we've got definitely a few new people over the past week, so if this is your first time watching the Sunday scan, welcome. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is probably one of the most valuable parts of the service, in my opinion. And like I said, guys, the Sunday scan is definitely going to be that part of the week where I'm going to go over a detailed game plan for the week ahead, exactly what I'm looking at, and the exact trade setups that I'm going to be looking to take at what certain levels, everything like that. So highly recommend taking notes, etc. I think this can be a very valuable part of the week for everyone, and I really enjoy doing these. So welcome. Hopefully you guys enjoy. All right, guys, first off, let's go ahead and kind of get into it. I want to first off, thank everyone for dealing with me the last couple of days of this past week. I definitely have been battling COVID or some type of definitely nasty virus. I was super under the weather starting the latter half of Thursday and into Friday, especially, was probably the worst day overall for me. I have felt absolutely horrible. I'm guessing it's COVID because it seems like everybody has it right now. But I definitely am still a little bit under the weather. You can probably hear it in my voice. My throat is super, super sore still. So you'll have to excuse me if I'm coughing or if I'm definitely still a little bit under the weather. So I'm definitely going to be drinking the water during the scan. And I'm going to try to keep the scan to about 20 to 25 minutes instead of about 30 to 40 minutes this week, just to kind of save my voice a little bit. I would rather not be fighting for my last breaths tomorrow on voice. So I'm going to try to keep things really concise and clear today and pretty much straight to the point, right? Instead of kind of the exaggerated, really in-depth. I'm going to try to keep things very to the point and save as much of my voice as I can. So let's go ahead and hop right into it, guys. Welcome back. So the first thing that we're going to cover is the S&P 500, guys. We had an absolutely insane day on Friday. Massive move, up 1.86% on Friday, guys. Just an absolutely insane squeeze out of shorts. This was definitely a very powerful move, guys, and sent a clear message in terms of market direction. That was one of those days where you could just feel that steady kind of buyer, right? Post 10:30, it was just very clear on trend. Really took advantage of it at the end of the day, guys. The next week call position went, I think, 60%, and then the Mara calls at the end of the day went a little bit over 50% as well. So really awesome trades at the end of the day Friday. I did take NVIDIA short off the open, guys, which was definitely not the best entry on my part, but we definitely saw kind of that chop for the first hour, maybe 50 to 60 minutes, and then we saw really just a clear trend. So was able to take advantage of that trend the end of Friday. Let's talk about why we saw that and kind of, the really important part of, where we are at on the S&P as a whole right now. Now, as far as the S&P goes, this 387 level, guys, has become a very, very key and integral point on the chart, right? We talked about this. We consolidated in this range between 377 and 387 on the S&P 500 for so long. And we hadn't really had but one true retest, right? Well, we rejected off of 400, and then on Tuesday, like we said, guys, we saw that massive rejection. On Wednesday of last week, a little bit of a difference with the short week, right? And then, Thursday continued to retest in that 387 level, and then look at Friday, right? Just massive move off that spot. And really that's because the top of this range was so important, right? We spent really just 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 days in a range. The top of that range is going to be what is old resistance and is now going to likely act as new support because we were in that range for so long, right? That the top of that range, which was resistance, has got a pretty good shot as acting as support because we were just in that range for so long and had so much resistance there, right? So that's kind of, right? The longer, you consolidate and try to break out of resistance, the more powerful the upside move is, right? We got a very powerful move towards 400, and now we're protecting that 387 level. So in the medium term, that 387 spot is a great area to pay attention to. That, for the time being, is now become a, dips are getting bought, right? And that is, I think, the more important thing to address here, right, guys? In these prior bear market rallies, right, we rejected off of the moat, right? So the mother of all trend lines, right, on that 400 test. And historically, what we've seen when that happens is we sell off for 4 or 5 days at least, right? We're seeing big sells, right? off of that trend line. Well, this is becoming more of an overall shift, right, in the market. And I think this is something you really have to pay attention to, because we are seeing an overall shift from, okay, reject off that trend line, we sell off, right, and we're headed towards new lows. But the difference is, as of late, and especially as of Friday, that dip got bought, right? That really weak price action we saw on Thursday after rejecting off the trend line. There's my cough. Right? Now that dip's getting bought, and it's not getting bought with like a small little green candle. We're seeing a 2% up day off that what was resistance and now has become support, and this is after rejecting off of that massive trend line, right? That is a more overall shift in the price action that we are seeing, especially in higher time frames. So very important to pay attention to, right, guys? We did close SPY at 395.88 on Friday. I think we've got a really good chance at retesting 400 this week, especially if you guys noticed the Fed whisperer Nick Timrose came out with an article this morning about how the Fed is, looking to step down to a 0.25 basis point hike on this upcoming Fed meeting, right, and is looking to possibly pause their hikes in the spring. All that alongside the move that we've seen in Bitcoin lately, guys, and you definitely it has more been a buy the dip type of trend as of late, right? I mean, look at this move on Bitcoin, right? I mean, this is a very powerful move on the daily, guys, right? Does not look like bear market price action to me, right? You've got this massive gap up, right? Everybody's looking to short this rally, and all we were waiting for was that first time, right, that shorts got completely stuffed, and that happened, right? People were looking to short these liquidity sweeps at the prior FTX high. Look what happens, right? We just consolidated. They trapped on the 18th, right? 19th, 20th breakout, right? And this is just a clear breakout to the upside. And now we're going to be looking for consolidation, or at least I'm going to be looking for consolidation at this 22K range. And really, I'm looking for a move to 25K here very soon, right? This is a pretty clear window, right, where we've got room to 25, maybe even 27K on BTC before I think we see any major resistance. So I'm going to be looking for a move here to 25K very soon on Bitcoin. I think that, the strength is there, and clearly the trend is there, right? This is not a short the rip type of market. This has become a more, you're seeing dips get aggressively bought in a name like BTC, and that makes a lot of sense, right? The prior cycle, both prior cycles, right, that we saw 2018, right? We saw it from cycle top to market bottom, 364 days, right? What do you know this time? Cycle top to cycle bottom, right? It's been about 439 days now, but if you look at FTX, that was 364 days from cycle top, right? I mean, that's starting to look pretty convincingly like we may have seen a at least, low in crypto for this cycle, right? And therefore, I think that you have to pay attention to a lot of these names, right? And therefore, what do you know? One of my favorite stocks in the entire market is going to be number one on the watch list this week, Coinbase. This has been a fantastic trader as of late, guys. I have missed some even bigger opportunities, but I feel like I've really nailed this to a T this week in the last 2 weeks, really, since we've seen this massive move off that $31 level. Let's get into what the setup looks like for this week, guys. And one thing that I can definitely kind of come out and say is that this is a name, guys, when it's trading well like this, this is a fantastic name. It respects hourly support and resistance perfectly, which fits my system. And it's just a great trader, especially when it's moving nicely long. It has that bid under it. It moves well. And it really is you just wait for hourly support dips. That's kind of, the mantra here is when coin is moving like this, it's don't chase rips, wait for hourly support dips, load those dips, and it provides fantastic opportunities. So when it's trading like this, the best way I could describe coin when it moves, kind of in a momentous market like this, is it's very similar to Tesla. If you guys were trading options back in 2019, 2020, when Tesla went on that massive run, especially summer of 2020, I mean, Tesla was just wait for an hourly support dip and then load the boat, and then you've got a great move, right? And that is very reminiscent of what coin is acting like, during its last run, which is over the summer, and then right now, right? So that's what my focus is going to be on, right? We've got a major potential daily breakout here as well, and a weekly breakout. Guys, look at the massive level that we are approaching here on Coinbase. First off, the important part to note here on the daily is we had that massive run, right? Then we got the dip, right? That 10% move down. And then look how aggressively that move got bought up, guys. We retraced or recaptured, that entire dip in one daily candle, right? We had an 11.61% up day on Friday, guys. That is a stock that I want to be looking to long intraday, not short, right? Because of the massive momentum we've got. We captured that 2-day sell-off back almost in one daily candle, and we got our highest daily candle close in a very, very long time. So as far as hourly dips look like, right? First off, let's address this. We're coming into a major resistance point at this 58 level, right? We are trying to reclaim that post-FTX high. If we get through 58, look how big of a level this is on the weekly, right? This can spark a tremendous rally if we reclaim 58, right? I really think that if we reclaim this 60 level, $60 psych, but really that 58.22 mark, which acted as major weekly support, right? We can see through this entire stretch over the summer, this 58 level was your kind of, that's where people bought, and then it was a sell at 80, right? Buy at 59, 58, sell at 80, right? That was a trade over the summer, guys. You buy at 58, sell at 80. I did it multiple times. This is the weekly time frame we're looking at, right? That was a trade I executed, several times. Buy calls at, 59.60, sell them at 79.80, right? Did it again. That was a huge money maker over the summer. So if we reclaim that 58 to 59 zone here, which was a massive demand level on coin, I think that can spark a massive run if we continue to see momentum in Bitcoin. A lot of other charts in the crypto space are supporting this thesis. So that is going to be a main watch for me, guys. Can we reclaim 58 with strength this week? If so, I think bigger picture, that looks like a fantastic long opportunity. As far as hourly goes, right, we saw a massive move on this on Friday. Here are the two levels I'll be looking at for dips, okay? And I'll make this really simple and clear. If we see a dip to 58.335, that is going to be number one dip buy area zone for me, right? We had a massive hourly breakout here on Friday. I would love to see dips to 53.35 on Monday get soaked. This would be an A-plus area for me looking to go long, right? Look at this long wick we saw on the hourly, right? I really think that this is going to be a key area, right? If we can hold this 53.35 zone, ideally we get one more retest of that, and then we see a large-scale move. Any dips towards 53.35 are going to be on the soak list for me. Now, as far as an upside breakout, which is totally possible, right, given the move that we've seen in Bitcoin, if we hold over this 55.5 level, right, you can see that prior daily high, right? If we can hold over 55, definitely think, if we start to soak 55 and it's becoming clear, right, coin has enough momentum, it doesn't want to retest 53. I think 55 is a nice area to look at long as well, which is kind of toward where we closed, right? After hours close was 56. But again, for me, A-plus setup is going to be a retest of 53.35 on the long side looking to soak, right? So that's kind of that bigger breakout area. I'd love to see that level get retested and then look for an add spot there. If we gap up, I'll be looking for 55 to stay strong versus, right? So when I say versus a certain level, I'm saying, this is my bias level, right? I'd like to say, it continues to get soaked versus a certain level. I'm saying, versus 55, right? Or versus 53. So again, those are going to be the two spots I'm going to be looking at as far as ad zones go. My trade idea there is going to be the 127.55 calls or 127.60 calls look appealing, right? If we're really seeing some strong momentum, I'd rather get some out of the money exposure. So one reason that I definitely think we could be looking at a very strong week for the crypto names is going to be because of my second top watch, and that is going to be the SQ Weekly. Now, I think the entire Twitterverse is on this chart, so who knows, but I mean, guys, this is a flat top breakout if I've ever seen one. This looks like it is getting ready for an absolutely insane move, right? SQ, clearly very strong resistance at the 76 level, which we did close over on Friday, right? And we have seen this rejected this level so many times. However, the one time we did break it was in early August when Coinbase went on that massive run over 100 because of the BlackRock news. We saw SQ absolutely ripped to the upside. Now, SQ closed its last weekly candle over this breakout level at 76. If we continue to see 76 hold, I think this is going to have a very strong move. This zone, right, it moves very quickly. It's not like there's a lot of levels to take out upside or downside, right? When it rejects off 93, it comes back to 76 very quickly. Just like when it gets above 76, it gaps up to 90 really quickly. There's not a lot of price action in this zone, right? This zone is very, very thin, and therefore it is going to move very quickly. And trading short-term options, those are the type of setups I love to take advantage of because those create those short-term, very parabolic moves, right? So therefore, if we continue to see 76 strong, and that is a big if, but if we see that level firm, and when I say firm, I mean, are there a lot of buyers stepping in? Are we seeing that level get protected? Is it, a shorts nightmare trying to attack that level? If we see that level stay strong and we see them trap at 76 continually on Monday, this is a top watch for me, right? I don't care if it's crowded. I don't care if there's a lot of people on it. This is a fantastic setup I want to be looking to take advantage of, and I'm going to be, right? Absolutely going to be looking at the $80 calls for 127. This is a clean $18 gap to the upside that I think can happen in a matter of, 1 to 2 days. I mean, look at this, guys. The last time that we gapped like this, it took 3 days, right? 3 trading days to go from 76 up to 90, right? I think that, again, right here, right? We saw a massive, massive move. And then look at the downside, right? 4 days to go from, 90, 89, right, all the way to 75, right? That $15 move it's a very quick zone, right? I think first resistance is going to be psychological level at 80, but the last 2 times, right, if we look at August, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 days to get from 76 to 90, and it was, 5 days to get back from that level, right? So I think above 76, I think this sees 84 very quickly, and therefore I'm going to be looking at the $80 calls for 127 on SQ. If the momentum is there, it stays firm versus that level, I think it's a fantastic setup, especially if we're going to see SPY try to test 400. Now, one thing I do want to mention before I continue into the large cap setups, right? These, I guess, are more growth setups. For the large cap setups, we have Microsoft earnings on Tuesday and then Tesla earnings on Wednesday. We are started off with mega cap tech earnings, right? We had Netflix on Friday. Netflix should be nice, should be back on the daily trader watch list. But again, Microsoft Tuesday, Tesla Wednesday means that we're going to see, traders treading a little bit more lightly on those days, right? Because those are earnings that can have major market impacting moves, right? And that's the whole thing is earnings compression within this cycle is definitely something that is on people's minds. So please keep that in mind. Tuesday and Wednesday, Microsoft Tuesday, Tesla Wednesday. Now, as far as top watches go, Meta is going to be at the top of my watch list this week. As far as like large cap names, guys, this is probably one of my favorite charts. This has been such a strong name, right, for the last few weeks. And really for the last few months. I mean, this thing's up 50% off its low. This is the Meta Daily. Guys, we had a really nice, again, flag and then breakout. This has got a lot of room up, right? And especially with Netflix, semi-strong earnings report, obviously at least on new subs. I think as long as Meta can protect 137.90, I think this looks like a fantastic upside setup, right? So on the hourly, this is going to be probably my top watch out of the gate on Monday. If Meta can protect 137.9, I love this for the 140 calls for 127. I think that this is definitely one of these stronger names. It's had a lot of relative strength lately, and this is just a clean, right? This is, a typical daily chart you see in a bull market, right? Consolidate, break out to the upside, going to be looking for that retest, right? Those are my highest conviction trades in this market, guys, and that's the system that's worked best for me, right? Looking at those retests of hourly supports on breakouts, and then on the short side, looking for hourly rejects at resistance, right? Strong hourly resistance. If I stick to those setups, my hit rate has been pretty darn high. So again, at 137.90, I will be looking for that retest of that level, guys, on the hourly here on Meta on Monday. And if we do see that, the 140 calls for 127 look like a fantastic upside trade. Just to give you some retrospect on the daily here, I think that upside targets for me are going to be that 142.31 level, and then really going to be looking for a move possibly even towards 145. All right, guys, apologies for that brief intermission. But like I said, on Meta, sorry, I had to answer the door. On Meta, that main focus for me is going to be the retest of 137.9 and then a test up to 143. So all right, guys. So my last and final mega cap tech watch is going to be Apple. Obviously, guys, this is a really, really big chart and really has a massive impact on the overall market. Really, as it comes into this 140 resistance is going to be a main focus for me, right? Jeez, I had to catch my breath. I didn't realize I kind of ran down the stairs. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally do it like normal. And then it's like, oh yeah, the COVID is like just pounding my chest right now. So guys, yeah, like I said, Apple is going to be my last and final kind of main focus this week. Obviously, we have Tesla earnings coming up, but the Apple daily is really, really an important figure for me in this market currently, right? If we see a break above 138.50, I really do think this chart is going to test that 140 level, right? That is the bigger test that I want to pay attention to. We have massive daily support there on Apple at the 140, 113 level. And I really think that this is going to be an impeccably important spot for the market, right? This is going to be one of those spots that can drive a move to 405 or can drive a move back down towards 387, right? So again, I think that, keeping this chart up on the screen is going to be an important focus for me. Again, this is a two-way setup. However, because Apple has been primarily a relative weakness name over the past month, this is a name I'm usually looking to take to the short side off of resistance, right? So again, growth has been that stronger names that I'm kind of looking to long, right? Versus where there's some of these names that are, trading with more relative weakness. And right now, right, we're seeing that shift where those small and mid cap valuations were reset accordingly and are now showing the most relative strength, right? So again, guys, this is going to be a focus for me over the next few months is really trading strength where it is and looking to trade weakness where it is, right? And so trading relative strength and trading relative weakness is always going to be a pinnacle for me inside of my trading system. So like I said, guys, those are going to be the primary focus setups for me this week. Definitely running out of gas a little bit on my voice, trying to make it through, but definitely getting a little bit tired here. So like I said, guys, I think those are going to be my primary 4 focus setups for the week ahead. Definitely going to be looking, like I said, closely at the SQ setup and then again at the Meta setup on the hourly. Like I said, I think that, as of right now, it's going to be about focusing on where relative strength and relative weakness are located and just taking advantage of those spots. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday night. Enjoy some football, some great games on today, and then rest up for the week coming. I will see you guys bright and early on the Pre-Market Live, 9:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you guys there. Peace.